Today, we are discussing the government's handling of winter fuel payments for pensioners. In a live interview, Labour MP Lisa Nandy was accused of totally lying by host Lewis over the failure to ensure vulnerable pensioners receive the support they are entitled to. Lewis highlighted that many eligible pensioners are living below the poverty line and not claiming their winter fuel payments. He criticized the lack of proactive measures, like sending letters to help them access benefits. Nandy defended the government's actions, but Lewis pushed back, emphasizing the ongoing issue. Have a watch. Have a watch.
I mean, you have been a campaigner for the poorest in society for a very long time. So it seems rather odd that you're sitting there defending a policy that the likes of Age UK, Citizens Advice, I've been campaigning on it myself, are pulling their hair out about. 780,000 pensioners on below £11,400 a year are not going to get the winter fuel payment because they don't get pension credit. There are systems that could be put in place to fix it. Why are you defending this?
Well, we are working really hard to put systems in place to fix it. Part of the intention behind the move that we've made is to deal with the £22 billion economic black hole. I won't dwell on that too much, Martin, because I know we've made that argument. I know you want to talk about the poorest, but making sure that we're targeting help at those who most need it, which is why we've introduced this change to the winter fuel payment so that not everybody is universally eligible for it. But we've had a huge drive to get the poorest pensioners onto pension credit. We've had 115% uplift in the numbers that are claiming over the last couple of months because of the work that Liz Kendall's been doing at the Department for Work and Pensions. And there's a particular group that I'm concerned about, that we're concerned about as a government, that group who are just above the threshold, who don't qualify, but who are at the lowest end of the state pension. And we're making sure that for those people, we've extended the Household Support Fund so that councils like mine in Wigan do have something to reach for if people are struggling but don't qualify.
Let's talk about those below the threshold. Those people who are eligible for pension credit, 780,000 of them, who you believe should get the winter fuel payment of up to £300, who are already missing last year's cost of living payment. Now, I've been shouting about this longer and louder than anybody else about getting pension credit. Yes, there's an uplift of 115%, but that's an increase of a maximum £20,000 a month. It would take you 4 years before all these people were claiming pension credit. The poorest pensioners, the poorest, under £11,400, you believe they should get pension credit and winter fuel, but they're not going to claim. They're the hardest to reach. You're not writing individual letters to them. You're not linking it to attendance allowance and housing benefit. There's lots you could do. So to try and talk about we're targeting the poorest, the truth is you're not targeting them. Why aren't you writing them bloody letters?
Ooh, well, we are actually.
Sorry, apologies.
No, it's fine. And I know how strongly you feel about it, Martin. I know that you've been in to see the Chancellor, and we do take very seriously what you say, what Age UK says, and we're working with the widest range of people to make sure that we do reach those people.
But
the truth is, there's
Lisa,
never...
you have to accept you're not going to reach them because those are the people hardest to reach. So how are you going to protect them?
In fairness, you just said to me, you're not writing bloody letters. Well, we are. And I just wanted to explain that because I don't want people to think that for a moment we're going to leave people high and dry. For that group of people, there's never been a drive to get them onto pension credit. And you're right that it is extremely challenging. You have people, for example, who've got dementia or other reasons why they've not applied for pension credit. They need far more support to be able to navigate the system. That's why we're working with local councils all over the country. My council in Wigan is writing out to everybody who they think is eligible. We've gone through all sorts of routes, like we have people who are on the assisted bin collection list who we've identified as maybe a particularly vulnerable group. We're going door to door to make sure that if we're not getting a response, that we're going and knocking on people's doors and finding out whether they're eligible or not. And we're working with councils all over the country to make sure that happens. We think it's better to do that at community level rather than at government level. But we will, of course, adjust that if it doesn't work. So far, though, the evidence is that it is.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree on that. So, first of all, are all councils doing it? But you say the evidence is. You're talking an uplift of 115%. You've gone from £20,000 a month claiming pension credit to £40,000 a month. But there are 780,000 people. You would need an exponential rise in the number of people claiming pension credit for those pensioners to claim this year. We have to accept You have to accept there will be many hundreds of thousands of the poorest pensioners under £11,400 income you will not reach this year. You are taking money out of their hands. Do you accept the truth? The reality is that's what will practically happen. I'm saying it, Age UK is saying it, others are saying it. So let's be honest, you're willing to accept that collateral damage of hundreds of thousands of poorest pensioners, many on dementia, not getting the winter fuel payment?
No, I'm not willing to accept that.
But it's going to happen.
It's one of the reasons why we've extended the cut-off point to apply until April next year.
What's your thoughts on this debate? Let us know in the comments. The debate between Martin Lewis and Lisa Nandy highlights the ongoing challenges in ensuring the poorest pensioners receive the winter fuel payment and pension credit. While Nandy defended the government's efforts, including outreach initiatives and extended deadlines, Lewis criticized the government's approach, arguing that many vulnerable pensioners, especially those hardest to reach, would still be left without support. Despite Nandy's reassurances, the reality remains that a significant number of pensioners may miss out, and the question remains whether enough is being done to ensure these individuals receive the assistance they need. Ultimately, both sides agree on the importance of supporting the most vulnerable, but the path to achieving this remains contentious. I think Nandy is totally lying about the government's efforts. If this video informed you, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.